Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Y'all listen, let's talk about Tisha and Marsau real quick. I may do another video, but right now I just want to get these thoughts out. So, Marsau pulls Tisha to the side and he starts with the buyout. It was just simply a conversation starter, just like Maurice suggested. The whole problem, in my opinion, is that both Tisha and Marsau are having a totally different conversation. Marsau sounds like he's saying that he carries a bulk of the load when it comes to the businesses and the family, as far as bringing in the money to take care of all of their needs. And in that, he doesn't feel supported, he doesn't feel understood, and he does not feel like he has a teammate. And when he tries to express those things to Tisha, she hears something totally different. When he said he feels alone, Tisha said, if you feel alone, that means you're going to start cheating. When he asked her what did she think her value was in the company, Tisha heard, you want a divorce. It's like every time Marsau tries to communicate something that's bothering him, Tisha receives it as a threat. Tisha is responding from a place of fear instead of receiving what is actually being said. From Tisha's side of things, she feels pushed away. She feels undervalued because when Marsau asked her what did she feel that her value was in the company, Tisha said she may not be as involved today, but she was heavily involved in the beginning. Basically, you may be carrying more of the current workload, but don't act like it wasn't me and my credit that got us here. Don't forget when we were trying to secure the loans for those 2 homes a couple of years ago, it was me and Kimmy who were carrying the 2 companies. When he said that he felt alone, Tisha said, when I tried to help you, you pushed me to the side and you're like, hey, don't worry about it, such and such has it. I'm trying to participate, but you're shutting me out. Marsau wants a teammate in business and marriage. Tisha doesn't want to hear any business discussion. She wants her husband. We've heard these conversations plenty of times before. We've heard Tisha say, but you have to balance business and family, Marsau. She has said it several times before. We've heard Tisha say that you become so consumed with work that you're disconnected from me. Let's have a date night. Let's go on a trip. We've heard Marsau say that he felt like he was drowning, but he has been so busy swimming alone, ain't that right, Solo, that he left Tisha behind. If they would just take the time and listen to each other and be clear on what they're saying and have the conversation when Tisha is sober, they probably make sense to each other. Marsau has to be clear on what he wants and what he's trying to convey to Tisha. If you no longer want to be business partners with her, say that. Don't beat around the bush. She said you can't buy her out. If you can't work with her anymore, exit the company and build your own. But I don't think Marsau would do that. And I don't think he's able to do it financially, because when he said, you get frustrated with me when I'm out here working all the time, and you're asking me when am I going to complete your stuff? And I'm like, what does she think I'm doing? What I heard is I have to do these other jobs in order to bring in the money to complete your mansion, to complete your office. So when it comes to the not having a teammate statement, what I'm hearing him say, but if you, Tisha, could find ways to bring in additional resources, that would actually take some of the load off of me. Not trying to be a Target ambassador, not you trying to be an influencer. Use those degrees and things that you stood in the kitchen begging me for when you were begging me to work outside of the house to help me in this business. When you asked me, well, why did you say I can get my certificates and things if I'm not going to use them? And I said, oh, babe, I thought that was fun, for play. Well, that's what it's looking like right now. We may not be where we used to be, but I think we should be further along than what we are. So that's what I mean when I say I don't have a teammate. I don't have a business partner who knows how to take initiative and go out there and make things happen. There are times that things come up and you tell me that you have to be at PTA. You told me that you no longer wanted to be so involved because you miss being a stay-at-home mom. So again, where do you rate your value in the company? I know you own 80% of the company, but where is your 80% in contributions? But now that I'm expressing my feelings to you, you've turned it into, you must want a divorce. When was the last time we've been on a date? And in the same breath, when are you going to finish my office? You're not listening to me, Tisha. Now, mind you, Marsau said, I do not have a teammate. Even when I'm trying to communicate to the best of my knowledge, I simply cannot because I have a wife who says she loves me, but she refuses to listen to me. Translation, I am trying to communicate to you in a way that you can comprehend. However, you say you love me, but you're not listening to understand. You are listening to respond. You are responding to what you fear and not to what I'm actually saying. Tisha, you should have said to Marsau, if you want me to go back to being a full-time mom, say that and say it with your chest. At least you'll be having an open and honest conversation. And if you want me to step my game up in the business, tell me in what ways I can do that. You say you need a teammate. Then be the leader that you say you are and show me the game plan. Let's sit down, write it out, set goals, and follow the playbook. Let's be clear on our roles as well as when we need to tag team. They are really going to have to get out of their feelings because all they're doing is going in circles. Marsau wants to be seen for his sacrifices and how hard he's been going for the family. Tisha has said this herself a couple of times throughout the seasons. When it comes to Marsau, Tisha wants him to recognize that she has tried to connect with him. So stop acting like I abandoned you. If anything, I'm the one who has been abandoned. Please don't tell me you can't make time for a date, but you can make time for Africa and Rome. Let's not do that, okay? So that's just my little quick thoughts on their conversation that they were having. Now, I know some people say they feel like, oh, they was performing, acting for just making a scene. I just try to look at it like it's a real situation. And I feel like they're talking in circles. They're not listening to each other. And you got to get out your feelings. If you want anything positive to come from it, you're going to have to get out of your feelings. A lot of stuff that Marsau said in that conversation, Marsau almost has said that same thing in every season to Tisha. But I don't see how he felt like he could have a conversation with Tisha, because to me, Tisha seemed like she was lit. Because when Marsau was talking, Tisha went, I don't know what we like. Tisha, baby, you need to go get you some water, okay? But y'all get down in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later.